So, what kind of art class is this? You may or may not have taken any art classes before, and you may or may not have a picture in your head of what an art class is supposed to look like. In my observation and experience, most art classes can fit into three categories broadly. And so I'm going to talk to you about what those categories are and which category this class fits in. The three categories that basically all art classes that I know of can be fit into are a project-focused class, a materials-focused class, and a skill-focused class. Now, every class will probably contain some elements of all three. There's going to be a project and materials and skills involved in almost every class, but most classes are focused on one of those. Most art classes I see fall into the first category. Most art classes are project-focused classes. Now, what does a project-focused class look like? So your average paint and sip type of a class would fit into this. So paint and sip, if you've never done one, it's where there is a painting that the teacher has already prepared. You know, it's going to be a landscape or an owl or whatever it is. And they will walk you step by step through completing that project. And of course, you're going to learn a little bit about the materials involved, and you're going to build a little bit of skills in completing this project, but the class is focused on walking you through that project. The second most common is a materials-focused class, which, as you might guess from the name, this is a class that focuses on teaching the students how to work with a specific type of material or medium. One example is a materials-focused class that I have taught before is a lino cut class. So I have taught people how to use those materials and make a piece of artwork using those materials. And of course, we completed a project and there were some skills that were developed while we were learning about the materials, but the focus of the class was learning to use the material. The third type of art class is a skill-focused art class, and in my observation, this is actually the hardest to find. It's the least common. A skill-focused class is focused on teaching the students the skills that they need in order to do art on their own. The focus of the class is not to have the students complete a project or to have them use a certain material. It's for them to understand the concepts and skills themselves independently so that they can go home and utilize them outside of the class setting. There are a few reasons that I think skill-focused classes are the least common. The first is they tend to be the most difficult, both for the students and the teacher. They're the hardest to take and they're the hardest to teach. I think this is partially because the focus, the subject, the intent of the class is really nebulous. It's what's inside the student's head. So we can't just focus on, did you step by step follow the instructions to create this painting, and now you can feel all accomplished, put it on your wall, and walk away. We're trying to make you know stuff. So maybe disappointingly, frustratingly, a lot of the work that you do in a skill-focused class isn't going to be something that's pretty that you can put on a wall. It's going to look bad because the project or the material, the thing that you're making, is not the point. What it makes you think, what you know because you did that, is the point. I'm sure you've already put this together, but this drawing course, Drawing is Thinking, is the third type of class. This is a skill-focused class. I am not going to be walking you step by step through a nice little drawing that you can put on the wall and be like, look, I made a thing. At least not initially. We'll get there eventually, but it's going to take a while. In fact, that's another reason why I think that skill-focused classes are harder to find, is they take longer. Skill building takes a while. All of the exercises and lectures and discussions in this class will be focused on helping you to know things so that you can build skills. The drawings and exercises themselves are not the point, and they look like it. I'm going to say right now that many of the drawings that you do in this class, in fact, most of the early drawings that you do in this class, are going to look weird. ugly. They're not going to be good. In fact, I will say if they look good, you did it wrong. The drawing is not the point. The point is what you learned because you did the drawing. Do not take this class and expect to be just immediately drawing beautiful things. We're going to do a lot of ugly drawings. They're not going to look good, but they're going to make you know stuff. I say all this so that you can set realistic expectations. This class is worthwhile, but you have to stick with it in order to really see your skills build.